Gaslighting is the essence of deception. It is the corruption of meaningful and logical communication. It is hijacking the truth and twisting it into a lie. A form of mental rape, destruction, and murder. I think I'll just call this video Gaslighting and Such. Because we're gonna talk about a lot of different things. There's a restaurant where I live, and actually there's three now. Started out with one, and it has to do with salad and such. That's what it's called. And I mean, it's a simple idea. All they have a basic salad bar, and I'm talking basic, man. They've got your French, your ranch dressing, and all that stuff. They've got the cut up, green peppers. They got the cherry tomatoes, little diced, red onion. Yeah, your basic salad bar. With some crackers, a little bit of sunflower seeds, everything. Then they've got homemade soup, they got the things. That's easy to make. They got chicken soup, they've got chili, they've got clam chowder, bacon chowder, And then they've got just breadsticks, that's it. And they don't even make their own breadsticks. They get those, from Walmart. I see them in there shopping. I deliver the food, so a lot of people order that. Which I think it's kind of funny. If you can't make a salad, man, it's, I'd hate to see what would happen if you use a toaster or something, Some of these people, I don't know. But lucky me, though, because I get to make the money. But really, I mean, how easy would a restaurant be like that? And they started out with one of them. Now they got three of them. That's it. That's all they do. I mean, they're making a killing. And so I was thinking of, really making them mad. And, just coming out with a salad and stuff. I could do that. I could do a salad bar and, make some chicken noodle soup, some chili, a little bit of bacon chowder, throw some breadsticks in a toaster oven, call it a restaurant, man. I don't know. There's a lot more to it, I guess. I had a buddy, he thinks he can make a pretty mean hamburger. But, you got to be able to make money and do it at the same time. But, so this will be Gaslighting and Such tomorrow. Maybe it'll be Gaslighting and Stuff. Yeah. But, gaslighting is trauma-based. And it doesn't have to be complex. Unfortunately, for targeted individuals, it is. But it doesn't have to be. All you have to have is, some cheesy stuff to go along with the stimuli. Because, that's really where the power is. A lot of you guys were probably getting a lot of suggestions and all that stuff during the foreshadow stage before you started getting the heavy harassment. And, you combine the two together, it doesn't really matter if any of it was, believable or not. When you combine the stimuli, break-ins and all that stuff, invasion of your privacy, destruction of your personal property, workplace harassment, pets getting killed, all that stuff, covert drugging, well, then you can get psychosomatic. It doesn't even matter. You're just a victim of trauma. You're going to be paranoid no matter what. It's just, by nature like that. And I've talked about before where I think the people that are getting gaslighted the heaviest are the people involved. Think about it. There's probably some of you out there that don't believe in judgment. But hypothetically, let's just assume there is. That's going to be a problem. And, that involves legal culpability. Right? I mean, if there's a recompense logically for whatever's going on the planet, well, who's storing up, more, condemnation at that point? Who's going to be in more trouble? right? I mean, the target individuals are pretty much minding their own business, right? They're getting it handed to them by a gang of people. But what's the charge of that anyway? I think the people that are doing this, it's like target individuals are just bait. Who's really the one being hunted here anyway? I don't know. Getting back to the cheesiness of this whole ordeal, you got to look at it that way. You do. New targeted individuals, they don't. They look at it and they're like, oh man, this is a huge conspiracy. It involves a underground secret society, and it's and I think the Kingdom of Darkness puts the element of the game in there for two reasons, to where they've got all this disinformation. They make it nice and juicy for the targeted individual to think they're special in some way, shape, or form. And then they just kind of serve it up. The people become consumed with all this. They start to read into things. And that becomes a huge problem, because what you need to do is try to forget about this crap. You do. Process it correctly. I mean, you'd be a whole lot better off if you just put this stuff where it needs to be in the garbage. Instead of sitting around wondering about comments that are made during street theater, or how people know something, or whether they're possessed, or whether they're connected to a secret society, or whatever you're dealing with. It's just, that the method of this stuff is to what? It's to traumatize you. It's to sensitize you. It's to get your thinking altered, to introduce the chaos of this nonsense into your brain. And the only difference between you now and you before is the fact that and that you're thinking about this stuff. Same world, and it's always been there. There's people out there that are lifelong TIs. Not all of you. And I would even venture to say that the people that say that, there was a time where they weren't getting all that type of harassment served up to them. There was a time where it changed, where it morphed into an aggressive, type of attack, and manifested in a way where, it just started coming from all directions. And that's when people become obsessed. That's when their thinking changes. That's when they become paranoid. That's when they start to accept all the ideas and lies and gaslighting that's coming at them, and they start becoming, consumed with trying to figure out what's going on, how these people are doing it, and everything else. And it plays right in to the trauma methodology, to where the thinking of the target becomes just totally chaotic, and they become consumed, and they become paranoid. That's all they want. That's it. That's all that has to happen. And then your life becomes dysfunctional. You become isolated. And it's just a downward spiral. And, the people that are, getting this stuff that are new, they're listening to every little word people are saying now. Every new targeted individual gets that way. And, they got to get headphones, which I think is a good idea. If you're new at that, I don't even pay attention. I care less, because I'm processing this stuff correctly. I know it's garbage. I know how these people are playing their game. I know what it is, and I know what's going to happen. And I know it's not special. And I know it's malicious. And I know it's going to come to nothing. Period. So I don't even care. And then I think they know it. You know, a lot of target individuals, they get, when it rains, it pours. When they're having a bad day, or they start, putting a little bit of blood in the water, these people are like sharks. They just know it. And all they're there. Because you combine the stimuli with these suggestions and they have weight to them. If all they were doing is talking to you and giving you street theater, and there was no break-ins, there was no personal information, there was no invasion of privacy, no workplace harassment, no destruction of personal property, no covert druggings, none of that stuff, none of it, you wouldn't even care. And you got to see that, there's a motive. They want you to become consumed. They want you to start looking for it. There was a guy that I was talking to for a while, and that's what people were, the street theater changed. People were just, walking by the guy saying, yeah, he's looking for it. He's looking for it now. Elvis is in the building. There he goes. Yeah, he's looking. Whoa. Yeah, and then people become self-centered. And they start thinking everything's about them, and they start looking for everything. They start looking at all this stuff differently than what it is, and they start to process information incorrectly. Start playing right into the strategy. Just forget about it. Quit looking at it. Quit looking for people and their reactions. Just completely ignore them. Turn it around on them. Take the stimuli and put it where it belongs, in the trash. That's what you need to do. I see the complications with this, and I know that people are, dealing with a lot of unpleasant situations, and a lot of the things they want to accomplish are being hindered by these people. I get it. I do. But you know what? They are doing that. But at the same time, and I've talked about this before, if you draw near to God, He can work these things out. And, some of that stuff you don't need. I mean, when you look at slavery, okay, their lives became very simple. And, instead of running down all these rabbit trails and trying to accumulate a bunch of stuff and living a complex life where they're trying to fulfill and satisfy every need, they basically drew near to God. Their lives became simple, and they were happier than the people that, owned them as slaves, literally. They were singing all the time. They were happy. They were oppressed and they got mistreated. I'm not downplaying that. That's not my point. But they survived it. They thrived, and God worked that out. Some of the greatest people of faith were in that. I guarantee you're going to meet them in heaven, and their lives became simple. And you don't need all the things that you think you do. You don't. Shut down the hindrance gaslighting and just take some of that stuff off your plate. They can't take something from you that you're not trying to get a hold of. And, so the way I process it, if something can be taken from me, it was never really mine. I've had a lot of things that I've had to just kind of let go. You know what? That's okay. That's no big deal. And if you're processing that information correctly, they're really taking it from themselves. They're not taking anything from you. Technically, that's what it looks like now, but later that's not going to pan out that way. If you really want to frustrate these people, don't react. Don't give them what they want. Make them work for nothing. That's really what you got to do. Guys, be good to yourselves. Be safe.